Most big sisters are crap, but mine's pretty great. She's a sick artist, helps me with the vids for my channel.
God, you're awesome.
And all my training.
Ria, do you think your father sends you to that school for you to be a stunt woman?
Yes.
It really is a groundbreaking film, you know, it's one that I have never seen the likes of before. Do you want to tell me a little bit about the timeline of this film? You know, we've already seen and loved We Are Lady Parts, but this script was kind of sitting with you since before that, right?
Yeah, you know, it was over 10 years ago when I wrote the first draft of the film, which is crazy to think about. And it just went through so many sort of processes of evolution. I got a lot of rejection early on, which kind of knocked my confidence for a while. And it wasn't until I got the chance to make We Are Lady Parts, I sort of found my voice again. I found, you know, what it is I want to be as a filmmaker. And it was the perfect timing because I learnt the skill of what I needed to do to write and to improve polite society. So, you know, when it came around, when it became an option again, I felt like I was ready to now make the film and do it justice.
One of the key components of the film, obviously, is changing the portrayal of South Asian and Muslim women on screen. Why is it important to diversify the way South Asians and Muslim women are seen in cinema?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I felt like growing up, I loved movies, I loved action movies, I loved comedies, but I never felt I saw myself there. So for me, I think it was just important to kind of create a film that centers a South Asian teenage girl, but let it also be a genre film, let it be an action film, let it be a comedy. And it was exciting because, you know, the more we see ourselves, the more we can strive to do whatever we want to do. So that was really at the heart of it for me.
Yeah, and what about for you as well?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think, you know, filming this film, I wish I had seen this when I was growing up. You know, you can't be what you can't see, right? So wonderful to have, like, people be able to see something like this and then feel empowered through it. And it's just so important that we allow people to tell their stories. And the more that we allow people to do that, the larger our understanding of the world is, our larger our capacity for compassion and kindness in the world. So, you know, I just think it's part of the whole thing that we strive for, really, when it comes to representation.
I mean, definitely. Representation is a huge reason why I even got into acting. I feel like I wasn't seeing people that looked like me on my screen, and I thought, well, I'll be the change. And that's a huge sort of motivation. It's not the sole reason. I think I'd find that really hard for it to just be sort of some socio-political reason why I'm an actor. I mean, genuinely, it's because I find it really fun and I love to play. I'm just a kid inside. I think we all are, actually. But but I think I couldn't do it if there wasn't just the wholehearted joy of getting to be on set and getting to play different characters and explore, you know, humans and our behavior. But representation means so much to me, and I'm so proud of this movie because of that. And so what you said means a lot, so thank you.
In the film, you know, we see your little sister, Ria, you know, doing anything that she can to protect you without giving any spoilers away, of course. And that, you know, teenage years are such a pivotal time in all of our lives. If you could go back and tell your teenage self something, what would you want her to know?
Oh my God, so much stuff. But you know what, like, no regrets, because everything happens for a reason, or if you choose for it to, at least, you know, it can be a lot easier. But maybe to do your best and not care so much what people think. I mean, I'm still telling myself that now, you know, so it's not necessarily a teenage thing, but like, to not compare yourself to others, compare yourself to you and only you, you know. We're all on our own journey. And even if I said that to my teenage self, she wouldn't listen. She was a rebel. So I just think you're not going to take advice. You're just going to learn the hard way. So just be kind to yourself and enjoy it.
That point about rebellion is key, and it's something, again, that really comes through in polite society. Is there something that you want people to take away from the film, or is it, is it a film where you kind of just want people to go and enjoy it? What's your take on kind of what you want the audience to see from Polite Society?
I think that's a really good point, because yeah, to some people it might be like, these girls are unconventional. I do think it's more like they have a, do whatever you're passionate about, regardless of what people say. They don't know what's right for you. Like, no one does. So you may as well do what you enjoy. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it. Even if that's not what everyone's doing around you. Yeah. I don't know. I think that we can, I think similar to what I just said to my teenage self, like I think we can we really want to fit in, and we want to, get validation from each other, and we want to, so it can be really difficult to be like, right, I like doing this thing, so I'm going to do this instead. I get it. But that's such a stronger like drive of like following your own sort of compass and figure out what you like doing.
And the film draws on so many different inspirations. It draws on kind of classic Bollywood films. We have got a big fat Indian wedding potentially in this film. There's also, action, and I know that Nida was inspired by a lot of Jackie Chan films and Singaporean action films. For you, what were you drawing on when you were kind of looking into this film and the role of Lena?
I do my best to not like try and draw upon other like characters in movies, because it can be really tempting to like sort of like copy or imitate, and like it can be really fun to just kind of create it from yourself or real people or from your own experiences. That's what I find sort of more I don't know, creatively fulfilling or just more unique. I don't know. But of course I watched all those same action films because they're awesome, and so you saying that no like movie or character jumps into mind. Life experiences and my own relationships, I think.
It's a very joyful film, it's
Thanks.
Exaggerated. It has all those conventions of the genre. Did people try and push you in other directions? You mentioned you've had some rejections, or did they accept it wholeheartedly?
No, there was, early on when I was trying to get it made, I had people wanting me to make it, instead of it being a South Asian family, can it be a white family? I had people wanting to take out the action. Maybe it doesn't need to be an action movie. I'm like, no, but it does. Kind of bizarre requests. And I realized I was developing it with the wrong people, where it was like, can you make it more traumatic? They wanted the older sister character to be more in a kind of forced marriage situation. And I was like, the stories about South Asian don't only have to be about trauma and misery, can be about joy, as you say. So I realized early on I was kind of in the wrong space, and I feel very lucky to have working title, Focus Features, and Universal behind the film, who really just empowered me to lean into the genre, lean into the joy. And so I feel like I got to make it right in the end, even if it took a while.
And, for both of you as well, this film is clearly inspired by action films. It's inspired by that Bollywood drama.
Yeah.
You've also got some Singaporean action films I know that you were inspired by as well. But for both of you, what were you drawing from when you were kind of directing and acting in this film?
Ooh, so many things. Honestly, I think it really is a compilation of everything. And Nida writes with such nuance, but also with such nostalgia. Like, there's so many movies in one movie. This is a film for films, and it would feel weird to have only taken reference from one genre. It was so important that we kind of got the balance, and Ria really goes through it all. I felt like I did action and comedy and drama and everything in between, through this film. So it was really important that I could take from lots of references and inspiration. And Nida was so helpful as well in terms of like finding the right mix of films and things that I could lean into and watch. There was a lot of like Matrix and Scott Pilgrim and all sorts of things that we were referencing and looking into and researching. So yeah.
No, like Priya said, it is a kind of a genre mashup, and I love teen movies growing up, so I wanted it to like really respect and honor the teen, especially those American teen films, as well as Jackie Chan, and just, yeah, everything in between. So again, yeah, it was such a joy.
You're also a bit of a spy in the film as well. And you know, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of stunts. What was that stunt work like for you? How much did you get into it? I heard you only injured yourself when you were walking.
Yeah, that was really funny. I got a few small bruises and things that were like, you know, totally expected. But yeah, that walking thing was quite funny, because after everything that I had done, I managed to injure myself the most doing that. Yeah, the stunt process was so cool. I mean, I had never done martial arts prior to this, so the time that I had between being cast and our like start of shoot was the time that I had to kind of learn as much as I could. And it was so important for me to do as much of it as I possibly could, because it's so important to Ria's character. It allowed me to kind of sit in her body and figure her out and understand her passion, because it's kind of ironic that I was getting to be a stunt woman, which is Ria's dream. So that was really cool. And we had the most incredible stunt team who kind of empowered us and really guided me in terms of like how we could maximize the amount that I was doing and maintain that energy over the course of the shoot. So, yeah.
And I think we can all attest to the fact that being a teenage girl is not easy in that secondary school environment as well. And I know that the action in this film was kind of amplifying that pain and that struggle. But is that something that both of you, you know, drew on and could relate to as well?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, you know, I knew I wanted to make an action movie with a teenage girl, because I feel like going into being, you know, hitting puberty and all the changes your body goes through, there's some like kind of small internal violences that you feel, and as well as like the emotional turmoil, the hormonal kind of ups and downs that you feel as a teenage girl. It makes total sense to use action to explore that. And also, I really wanted to create a character that's really embodied. You know, I remember going through puberty and feeling disconnected from my body, because you go from being a child to being a young woman and you become objectified. Society treats you differently all of a sudden, and you feel like a slight alienation. And so I wanted this character to be a teenage girl who's fully, you know, self-possessed and in her body, and that was really exciting for me.
In the film as well, the thing that struck me was the familial relationships in it. You know, you have that sisterly bond. You also have, without spoilers, the exploration of that kind of toxic South Asian mother-son bonds. How did you, you know, want to embed those in the film using the conventions of the action genre, which you might not necessarily expect?
Yeah, I mean, it was so exciting, again, to bring together the genre elements with what I feel to be very specific cultural nuances. I mean, some of my favorite scenes are the ones between the family around the table, or between the mother and son, seeing those very truthful dynamics. And it's just so joyful to infuse your cultural specificity with big genre. And that was, like, properly exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've got a younger and an older brother, and I feel like there's no relationship like it, like this unconditional love that you have that can also, no one winds you up more than a sibling. Like these, I mean, I didn't like physically fight with my brothers, but you know, like the anger that you can have with each other, and yeah, I definitely, you know, that was very easy to draw upon. And you know, I also think there's this sort of sense of responsibility that you can have as a sibling, and definitely for me, of like feeling like I want to be this like good role model, especially to my younger brother, which isn't like, you know, all the time, and the kind of shame I can feel if I'm not like being, you know, my best self, or if I need his help, you know, there can be a real resistance. And so drawing upon that for the film, I think was, you know, interesting.
And you mentioned shame as well. You know, in South Asian culture, I think shame is something that we feel so heavily, and it's something that for Lena as well, you know, she's maybe at a crossroads in her life where she's kind of looking for where she wants to kind of aim her focus. What was that like to kind of portray a character who's in that kind of decision-making phase of really choosing where they want their life to go?
I mean, super relatable. I think that this like thing of feeling like we need to have we have to find our purpose, or the thing we want to do, is so strong in any culture, just in society in general, and we have to choose so quickly, and it can feel like a lot of pressure. And I definitely feel like I've been there where, you know, I haven't felt like I had a purpose, and so I'm just sort of filling this void with whatever or whoever's around, and not having the awareness, and it just being a massive blur. And I think that that's what Lena's really going through at the beginning. So when she meets this like wealthy hot guy, she's like, my energy's going to go towards this, where, you know, I think so many of us like been through that too. And also, you know, it's kind of, learning that it's okay to not sort of have this like thing that you know you want to do. Like, it doesn't have to just be about that, and sort of forgiving ourselves and being kinder to ourselves about that.
I think we all need to be a bit kinder to ourselves, for sure.
We really do.